All right, welcome to Urban Odyssey, where we chase the shadows. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jordan.
Okay, Alex, let's just dive right in. What if I told you the entire digital world we live in, the constant notifications, the endless scrolling, the way we shop, what if it wasn't an accident? What if we found the blueprint, a playbook, written way back in 1999 that basically laid out the next 20 years of our lives? The question is, was our culture just evolving, or was it engineered? Okay, so check this out. The playbook opens with this quote, right on page 4. And look, at first glance, it just sounds like some generic business prediction. But Jordan, the more you dig in, the less it feels like a prediction and more like a declaration, a mission statement. This wasn't someone guessing about the future. This was someone handing out the script. Exactly. So what is this thing? The official story is it's a book from 1999 called The Entertainment Economy, written by a media consultant named Michael J. Wolff. It looks like any other business book you'd find at the airport, but it's not. It's the blueprint. It lays out step by step how to make entertainment the absolute center of the entire global economy. And the key, the real secret sauce, is capturing and controlling our attention. And just to give you an idea of the scale they were already operating on, look at this number, 480 times billion dollars. That's what the U.S. entertainment industry was worth in 1999. This wasn't some small-time operation. It was already a monster economic force, just waiting to be unleashed. Okay, now this is where it gets crazy. This is proof the plan was already working. Look at these numbers from back then. American families were already spending more of their money on entertainment than on healthcare, more on distraction than on survival. I mean, come on. The foundation for this new economy wasn't just being laid. The building was already going up. Right. And a plan this big needs architects. The playbook actually profiles the moguls, the key figures who had the power and the vision to turn simple media companies into these globe-spanning empires of influence. Let's pull up a couple of their dossiers. First on the list, Rupert Murdoch. Now, the playbook doesn't just paint him as a businessman. It presents him as a master strategist who understood that media was never really about just entertaining people. It was always about power. He knew exactly how to shape the story on a global scale. And this isn't just a list of savvy business moves. This is the profile of a gambler, someone willing to risk everything, not just for money, but for pure, raw influence. Used press coverage to gain political favor. That's straight out of the playbook. It's about total media integration, controlling the message from every single angle. All right, so the next dossier is for a totally different kind of mogul, Ted Turner. You know, he had this public image as a maverick, a conservationist, kind of quirky. But the book peels back that layer and shows us a very different kind of strategist at work. See, it's this calculated duality. On one hand, you've got this folksy guy saving bison on his massive ranch, but just off camera, he's got a satellite farm designed to, and I quote, take the world's pulse at any moment. It's a persona. It's the perfect cover for a relentless drive to control the flow of information. He believed time away doesn't mean time off, because in this new world, you're never off. So the playbook doesn't just talk about the players. It details the methods. It literally breaks down the psychological tools they used, what it calls the tools of control. And we're not talking about simple marketing here. We're talking about strategies designed to literally engineer desire. And the primary weapon in their arsenal is this concept called the E-factor. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. The idea is to inject an entertainment experience into stuff that has nothing to do with entertainment. Why? To create emotional allegiance. They don't want you to be a customer. They want you to be a fan. They want to blur the lines so you can't tell where the product ends and the feeling begins. This is a perfect breakdown of how it works. Look at Barnes & Noble. They weren't just selling books. They were selling a feeling. They injected comfy chairs, the smell of coffee. They literally manufactured the cozy, bookish vibe of a college library. They didn't just build a store. They built a habit-forming environment, a third place you felt drawn to over and over again. And what happened? Sales shot up. It's experience design as a weapon. And this whole E-factor thing is part of a much bigger strategy laid out in the book. It's this massive shift from selling real goods, things you actually need, like a car or a dishwasher, to feel goods, experiences designed to make you feel something. The goal was to stop selling you stuff and start selling you emotions. And they're not even hiding it. This quote from Hermes, right there on page 34, says it all. We don't deal with needs, we deal with desires. That's the whole game. Make us forget what we actually need and get us chasing these manufactured desires they create for us. An economy built on that is an endless loop. So let's connect the dots. This whole strategy was laid out more than 2 decades ago. And what's so chilling isn't just that someone wrote it down, it's how perfectly it describes the world we're all swimming in right now. This is the war for your mind. I mean, listen to this. Page 77. You find this creepy little phrase. The unseen hand is on the mouse. You got to remember, this is 1999. The internet was still a baby. But the playbook already knew. It was already pointing to the next battlefield for our minds, the digital world. And look at this prediction. It's talking about online stock trading. And how does it describe it? Not as investing. It describes it as entertainment, part video game, the action of gambling. It's literally a script for how to gamify finance. It was all laid out. And now, fast forward to today. Think about those trading apps on your phone. Think about the digital confetti that explodes when you make a trade. Is that just a cute feature? Or is it the exact gamification described in this book a quarter of a century ago? This wasn't an accident. This is the playbook, executed flawlessly. The book literally called for the end of downtime. It described a future that was a nonstop, 24/7 war for every single second of your consciousness. The whole point was to build these massive empires that could hit you from every angle: your phone, your TV, the mall, your car, even at a theme park. In this world, there is no escape. You're always plugged in. Which brings us to the biggest, most unsettling question of all. If this playbook is real, if it's so accurately predicted and shaped the world we live in, what does that say about our reality? Are we living our own lives, or are we living inside their design? Seriously, think about it. The last time you had fun, was it a genuine moment? Or were you following a script designed to lead you to a product, a subscription, an upgrade? And the things you want? That new phone, that perfect vacation photo, that specific lifestyle you're chasing. Did you come up with that yourself? Or was that desire planted in your head? And maybe the most terrifying question, if this was the playbook for the last 2 decades, what's the playbook for the next one? What's the next chapter they're writing for us? Look, we've only just scratched the surface here. You have to read this thing to believe it. Go to our Substack for a much deeper dive. So what do you think? Are we just seeing patterns that aren't there, or is our reality far more constructed than we think? Let's talk about it on X. Use the hashtag #UrbanOdysseyTruth. We want to know what you uncover.